And welcome back to Locq Fortune's Vegas Vibe. We're here with my good friend Neil Merrick of many, many years,
That's right.
and his business partner Jamie
It's Homanpur.
Hamanpar.
Yeah, it's tough to say. So.
Hamanpar, where that's is that Moroccan or
My father's from Iran.
Iran? Okay, I knew I was in the general area.
Close.
Okay, yeah. Awesome. Well, your business, Blue Diamond Vapors. I told Neil that I wanted to talk about that, and he's like, "Well, you know what? You're the go-to guy." Okay. So I'm not a big vape person. I know a little bit, probably just enough to get myself in. I love it. I love the sound effects. That was perfect. But just enough to get myself in trouble. But please explain to. Let's pretend like I'm a novice.
Sure.
But I'm interested in vaping, because I smoke cigarettes and I want to start vaping. So tell me a little bit about your products and what you guys do down there.
Absolutely. Really, when it comes to an electronic cigarette or a vaporizer, they all do the same thing. So there's tons of devices out there. You can see that Neil has one. It looks different than mine, and it looks considerably different from this.
Oh, wow. Okay, so they anywhere from this to this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ultimately, they do the same thing, and what happens is you have a battery that sends power to an atomizer, which is like a heating element. It heats up, it vaporizes an e-liquid, and it turns that liquid into a water vapor. Now, that water vapor may or may not contain nicotine. It may or may not contain flavoring. There's a lot of customization that's available in terms of what's inside of the e-liquid itself. But ultimately, like I said, every device is doing the same thing.
So you can vape without nicotine.
Absolutely.
You can do a nicotine. You can have a nicotine-free vaping experience if you wish to.
And that's one of the big reasons so many people have had a tremendous amount of success switching from smoking to vaping is because you're in control of how much nicotine is in the e-liquid. And a lot of customers, people out there, their end goal is to vape a zero, but they still want that experience of seeing the vapor production or the hand-to-mouth association. A lot of people smoke for 20, 30, 40 years. And when you've built in habits like that, sometimes they're harder to kick than just not needing the nicotine. So
well, I gotta admit, the only reason I smoke is not because I'm an addict, because it could take me more than a week to kill a pack sometimes. It really depends on my level of boredom. Mm-hmm. If I'm really bored, then I'm gonna smoke a cigarette, or after a meal. If I had a good meal, then I like to enjoy a good smoke after a meal. And none of us are getting out of here alive. If any of you figured out a way to get out of here alive, please let me know. I'll get it on the show. I'll have you booked. But seeing how none of us are getting out of here alive, I say enjoy your life to the fullest. But if there is a way that you can enjoy your life to the fullest and feel better about yourself and better about your experience while doing it, then I'm a big major proponent of that also. Hence is why we're having vaping on. So please continue. I'm sorry.
So the idea about why would you vape versus smoke, and really it comes down to this no-brainer thought process of, if you are somebody who enjoys your cigarette, and I said to you, well, there's a method for you to be able to enjoy that experience, but without being exposed to the risk of some of the complications that we know smoking causes, lung cancer, emphysema, etc., and it's less expensive. And on top of that, it doesn't present the secondhand risk that a traditional combustible product is. It's kind of a no-brainer. You would do it for sure.
Well, it would have been. Well, see now.
And it doesn't smell your clothes out.
I'm not this size type, but now this has me interested because this is something that it's like a little harmonica or something like that. But it's very lightweight and everything like that. Because look, I want something that's comparable to what I'm used to.
Sure.
Right. I don't necessarily. Once I really start liking this, maybe I will move up to this because it'll give me. I'm imagining more service.
Well, a radical difference in device. So. Mm-hmm. With something as small as this, the vape production is very minor. The battery is not going to last as long. So if you're somebody who's vaping a flavored e-liquid, which most people are, the flavor profile is not going to be as strong in a device like this as in a device like mine.
Right. Okay. So this is for flavor then. These are flavor orientated. You want to get the.
The other difference is if you were somebody who, let's say, like you mentioned, casually smokes 1 or 2 cigarettes a day or after a meal, versus somebody who's a pack-a-day smoker.
Right.
With a device like this, the atomizer, the element that turns the liquid into vapor, is very weak. And because of that, the nicotine content in a device like this is very high. Oh. Whereas in a device like this, the atomizer is very powerful. And so as a result, the nicotine content is very low.
Okay.
So there's different reasons why you would choose a device of different sizes, styles, etc. It's not just necessarily the battery or how long the device will last.
Yeah, because for example, I probably would want to go with that if I'm just stopping smoking. I might want a larger nicotine boost to begin with before I work and then gradually work my way to an atomizer that's going to actually burn away most of that nicotine.
And a lot of that has to do with the content of the nicotine in the liquid.
Okay.
And you can step that down as you no longer require it. From personal experience, I remember, I was a pack a day smoker guy, and we switched. And
I remember us back in those days. Right. Cheers. Remember, right. Cheers.
Yeah. And so I was like, well, I'm not going to smoke in the house. We're going to get vapors. We're gonna be part of this new movement. And I vaped a lot. And when I went initially, they told me, like, you smoke this kind of cigarette, you smoke this much, you need this level of nicotine. I was like, okay, I believed them.
Right.
And the difference between going outside and having a cigarette, during the day and doing this constantly, I was like, I've got too much. I need to step it down.
Right, because you could do it anytime. You could do it anywhere.
Right, and I was hitting it a lot. So I was like, so I stepped it down to 6, down to 6, down to 3, and then after a while, I was like, maybe I'm gonna try 0. Maybe I'm okay.
Right.
And that's where I'm at. I've been at 0 nicotine for over a year now, so it's like, this is the easy way to do it.
Yeah. Live testimonials. I love that. We got enough time, John?
Yeah.
Okay. One final question. How are you guys positioned with this whole cannabis thing? Because I understand that cannabis can be vaped also. Mm-hmm. Are your items compatible with it? And if so, are you guys looking at that as a possible business in addition to your business? Or are you kind of shying away from that and kind of waiting to see how the weather goes with that?
Well, one of the things that, in terms of selling a product that vaporizes cannabis, we don't know what Nevada's laws are going to look like exactly.
Right,
we know they're
true.
coming, but they're not quite there yet. So as business owners, we really can't say we can or can't do this because we don't know what will happen. What I do know is that the devices that are being used in that space right now are ultimately remedial. So if we went back in time and looked at our industry, the technology that we saw 5-6 years ago is the technology that's being used now.
Okay.
And as an operator, I look at that and I say, the most dispensaries are selling a product that's probably $2 or $3 for $80 or $90, and it throws us back to the very beginning of when our space started, when customers were paying a considerably large amount of money for something that there was no value there.
No value there.
So I do believe that when we see clear legislation, you'll start to see technology and other operators who are well versed in that technology sort of catch up. The consistency of an e-liquid in terms of that you would use for an electronic cigarette is very different than the consistency of a product you would see like in a liquid cannabis form. So they are not interchangeable. You cannot walk into a traditional vapor shop and buy a product designed for an e-liquid and then use it with a liquid cannabis.
Hear that, potheads? Okay? Because you know who you are, and you know that you'll go in there, you'll get one of these, and you'll try to use it for some cannabis and you thought you was getting all the... Don't do it. Okay? Oh, I'm sorry.
But we will see technology sort of catch up with that space as it becomes readily available in multiple markets. So
Awesome. Yeah. Well, also, you know that this is the place to come to for your alternative cannabis news. So, quick plug. 6 weeks before Vegas actually has to roll out its recreational marijuana program. So we only have like 6 weeks left before the city actually has to really step up and actually say, well, this is the game plan, this is what's going on and everything like that, which is also going to incentivize them also to get more, because this is just the beginning, folks. There's going to be a lot of legislation around this. I think it's very wise for you guys to kind of sit back and kind of watch the landscape before just jumping in, because there's going to be some that is just going to jump in, and they might be jumping into a pool of lava and not even know about it. So it's better to know that you got those, the legalities and legal questions all answered before looking into getting that space, and still establishing yourselves as professionals in the area that you're already in. So that's a really great thing. Folks, if you got a chance, if you're interested in vaping, you want to know about vaping, go down to Blue Diamond Vapors, located on Rainbow and
Warm Springs.
Rainbow and Warm Springs. What's the exact address?
It's 7380 South Rainbow.
Okay, 7380 South Rainbow. You guys got a phone number?
It's 702-998-0625.
Okay. Only call if you're going to buy something. Let's keep it real. No, just kidding. I can't tell you what to do with their phone call. But still, come down and visit. Yeah. Check them out. They've got a variety of excellent products for you. I'm really liking I'm really liking this one here and whatnot. But a variety of different products to suit your taste, suit your needs. Blue Diamond Vapors, my great friend Neil Merrick. Thank you so much for coming on.
For having us.
You're more than welcome. And Jamie,
thank you.
Last name again?
It's Homanpour.
Homanpour.
Yeah.
Because I know Christina Amanpour. Christina Amanpour. So that's where I went with that. I love her. Love you, Christina. You haven't been on the news lately, though, so I'm looking for you. But I don't blame you. Anyway. Okay. Well, we'll be right back with the final segment of the show, and see you then.